Okay, gotta admit, when I first saw garbage bin boxes, I wasn't exactly like, whoa, deep dive time. Like, how much can there really be to say about, just a box for your bins?
Right.
But then I started going through this guide, top 10 mistakes to avoid when sourcing garbage bin boxes, and wow, this thing's packed.
It is.
Clearly written by someone who, really cares about this stuff.
Yeah, you don't see passion like that every day.
No, definitely not.
Especially for something that you think is as mundane as a garbage bin box.
Right.
There's a lot more to it.
So today our mission is to kind of walk you through this world, help you avoid the pitfalls, and ultimately find the perfect bin box.
Yeah, like a roadmap to bin box success.
Exactly.
Because a bad choice here can lead to more than just an eyesore in your yard.
For sure.
We're talking rust, damage, even like safety hazards if things aren't built right.
Absolutely. So let's jump into mistake number 1.
Okay.
Which is that classic trap of always going for the cheapest option.
Right, so budget's always going to be a factor.
Okay.
But this guide makes a really good point about why just going for the cheapest garbage bin box can actually cost you more in the long run.
Yeah.
You think about it like a really flimsy bin box. That's more likely to break down, rust, or even blow away if there's a strong wind.
Well, for sure, especially if you live somewhere with, crazy weather.
Absolutely, and then you're constantly replacing it. Spend more money than if you just bought the good one from the start.
It's like that old saying, buy cheap, buy twice.
Exactly.
Right. So investing in that durable material like galvanized metal or high-density plastic,
Things that will last.
that might seem like a bigger upfront cost, but it's going to pay off in the long run.
For sure.
Big time.
Longevity, peace of mind.
And those materials are really key for withstanding the elements.
Yeah.
Which brings us to mistakes number 2 and 3, battling the weather and avoiding design disasters.
Yeah.
Because your bin box is out there facing everything.
The tough job.
Rain, snow, sun, everything.
Yeah, that's where the design and the materials really make a difference.
Absolutely.
Like the guy who's talking about gas springs.
Oh, yeah.
For smooth lid operation.
Okay.
So you're not fighting with it when it's
I see.
raining or snowing.
That's a feature I never would have thought of, but right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And then there's ventilation.
Okay.
Now you might think, wait, don't we want to keep all the smells in there?
Right.
But it turns out that controlled ventilation is actually key to preventing odor and mold buildup.
Interesting.
It's finding that balance between containment and airflow.
So not just about keeping things sealed up tight, but having a system that
works, yeah.
Lets the air in without letting all the smells out.
Yeah.
And of course, secure locks are a must.
Oh, of course.
Not just to keep animals out of your trash.
Right.
But, if you're storing anything valuable in there.
For sure. Add a little extra security.
Okay. Exactly. And speaking of tailoring your bin box to your needs, mistake number 4 highlights the power of customization.
Yeah.
It's not a one-size-fits-all solution anymore.
It's not, no.
People want options.
You do.
Whether it's individuals or businesses, they want something that reflects their style, their needs.
It's like choosing a car.
Yeah.
You don't want just any car.
Exactly.
You want one that fits your lifestyle.
Yeah.
And for businesses, I think customization is a really amazing opportunity to reinforce their branding and just stand out.
How so?
Think about it like a bin box with your company logo. That's a mobile ad every time it gets wheeled out to the curb.
That's a great point.
And choosing custom colors to match the branding creates a cohesive look.
Shows attention to detail, commitment to quality.
Absolutely. But customization isn't just about the looks.
Right.
It's about the functionality, too.
Okay.
Like the guide was talking about, some businesses will get reinforced lids if they need that extra durability or extra compartments.
Okay.
So they can separate their waste.
So many possibilities.
Endless possibilities.
Yeah.
You can really make it your own.
Awesome. Now, mistake number 5 tackles a topic that's super relevant these days.
Yeah.
The eco-friendly factor.
Absolutely. Customers are way more environmentally conscious than they used to be.
For sure.
And they're really looking for sustainable products.
Even when it comes to something like a bin box.
Even with the bin box, yeah.
So it's not just about doing the right thing for the planet.
No, it's good business.
It's smart business.
Yeah.
Choosing bin boxes made from recycled or recyclable materials reduces waste.
Yeah.
Strengthens the brand's reputation.
Shows that you're aligned with what people care about these days.
Exactly. Shows that you're committed.
Yeah. And that can be huge.
Huge.
For a company.
Right. Absolutely.
I know I'm way more likely to buy from a company that's making an effort to be eco-friendly.
Yeah. How about you?
Me too. Definitely. And the guide also talks about vetting your suppliers, making sure that they're also committed to sustainability.
Yeah.
So it's not just about the product.
The whole supply chain.
It's the whole thing.
Which brings us perfectly to mistakes 6 and 7.
Okay.
Vetting vendors and being savvy about shipping.
Right.
It's easy to get caught up
Yeah.
in the excitement of choosing that perfect bin box.
Right.
But the supplier you choose is just as important
Just as important.
as the product itself.
Absolutely, because a great product from a bad supplier can lead to so many headaches.
Yeah.
You want to make sure they deliver on time, meet the quality standards,
Yeah.
have those ethical and sustainable practices that we were just talking about.
And that's where those certifications come in.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The guide mentioned REACH, BSCI, TUV ISO9001.
I know, so many letters.
It's like alphabet soup.
Yeah.
But the key takeaway is that these certifications ensure that the bin boxes meet those standards for chemical content, manufacturing process, worker safety.
All the important stuff.
It's not just about the quality of the product itself.
Yeah.
It's that whole supply chain,
Exactly.
ethical and responsible.
Yeah, and by choosing a supplier that prioritizes these certifications, you're basically outsourcing that due diligence.
You are.
You know, you're not supporting bad practices
Right.
by accident.
Yeah, that takes a lot of the guesswork out of it.
Takes a lot of the stress out.
Yeah, for sure.
But the guide goes even further. They say you got to request samples,
Okay.
which seems so simple,
Yeah.
but is so valuable
Okay.
because it lets you actually see the quality firsthand.
Yeah.
Test out the features, make sure the design is what you're expecting.
Right, because you don't want to commit to this huge order
Yeah.
and then be disappointed.
Exactly. It's better to catch the issues early.
Like a test drive
It is like a test drive.
for your bin box.
Yes.
Yeah,
Before you buy the whole fleet.
makes perfect sense.
And then mistake number 7 reminds us that shipping costs can be a real sneaky budget buster.
They can if you're not careful.
Yeah.
It's easy to overlook those logistics. Especially if you're ordering in bulk, those shipping costs can add up really quickly.
Yeah.
So the guide recommends that you work with suppliers that are really transparent
Okay.
about their shipping and packaging.
You want to know what those costs are going to be?
Exactly. You want to know how those products are going to be protected.
Nobody wants to receive a damaged...
Nobody wants a dented bin box.
No.
Especially after all this.
Right. Exactly.
All right, so we've covered durable materials,
Yeah.
thoughtful design, supplier vetting,
Yeah.
testing samples.
Mm-hmm.
But mistake number 9 reminds us that it's not just about function.
Okay.
It's about aesthetics, too.
Right, because if your bin box is going to be out in the open,
Yeah, you don't want it to stick out like a sore thumb.
you don't want it to be an eyesore.
You want it to add to the space,
Yeah.
not take away from it.
Yeah.
The guide mentions Hongmao Garden as a company that does this really well.
They have a bunch of modern minimalist designs that could fit a bunch of different outdoor aesthetics.
That's great.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter what your style is.
Okay.
There's probably a bin box out there.
There's a bin box for
That's
that.
it. That'll work for you.
Love it. Okay, so we've talked about durability, design, suppliers, aesthetics.
Hit all the points.
What's left? Mistake number 10. Overlooking warranty and support services.
Oh, that's an important one?
It's one of those things you don't think about until you need it.
Until it's too late.
But it can be so crucial
Absolutely.
when it comes to a product like a bin box.
Imagine you buy all these bin boxes.
Yeah.
And then one breaks.
What
are you gonna do?
Nightmare.
That's why it's so important to work with suppliers who offer good warranties
Yeah,
and reliable support.
absolutely.
Gives you peace of mind
Yeah.
knowing that if something goes wrong,
Yeah.
you're not on your own.
Someone's got your back.
Exactly. And the guide actually shared a success story about a German retailer that switched to higher quality garbage bin boxes.
Okay.
And their customer satisfaction and sales just went way up.
Wow.
It's proof that investing in quality and support pays off
It does.
in the long run.
It does. All right, so that brings us to the end of the 10 mistakes.
Phew.
But we're just getting started.
We are.
Now that we've talked about the potential pitfalls,
Right.
let's hear from Hongmao Garden themselves.
Let's get into the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, they've been doing this for a while.
They have.
They have a lot of knowledge to share
Mhm.
about the challenges and solutions
Yeah.
when it comes to sourcing bin boxes.
Let's hear what they have to say.
I'm excited. Let's do it.
So Hongmao Garden starts by talking about durability,
Okay.
which makes sense, right?
Yeah.
That's got to be top of mind for anyone buying outdoor storage.
It's got a whole
You're putting it
just
outside.
elements.
It's got to be tough.
Rain, snow, sun,
Exactly.
all of it.
So they really highlight the materials they use. Weather-resistant stuff.
Like what? What kind of things are we talking?
galvanized or powder-coated metals,
Okay.
and high-density plastics that are UV stabilized.
Okay, so no flimsy materials.
No, nothing flimsy.
But why is the UV stabilization so important?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Honestly, I kind of glossed over it at first too,
Yeah.
but turns out that UV stuff can do more than just fade the colors.
Okay.
It can actually weaken the plastic,
Oh, really?
make it brittle,
Interesting.
and then it's more likely to crack.
So it's not just about looking good, it's about
It's about keeping it strong.
strength and durability.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that UV protection is key
It is.
if you want that bin box to last.
Makes sense. All right,
Oh.
so what else?
So another challenge that they point out is compliance,
Uh-huh.
making sure you meet all the safety and environmental standards.
Right, and the guide mentioned a bunch of those certifications. RECH, BSCI, all that.
I know, it's a lot of letters.
It is. It's like alphabet soup sometimes.
It is, but basically those certifications mean that the bin boxes meet all these strict standards
Okay.
for like chemical content, manufacturing processes, worker safety.
So it's not just about the product. It's the whole process.
It's everything.
Ethical and responsible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And by choosing a supplier that prioritizes all those certifications, you're basically making sure that you're not supporting any bad practices
Yeah.
without realizing it.
Takes the guesswork out of it.
It does. It takes the stress out.
For sure.
And speaking of taking the guesswork out,
Yeah.
they talk about customization,
Okay.
which is a big one these days.
It is.
Everyone wants their stuff to be unique,
They do, even their bin boxes.
even the bin boxes.
Right.
So Hongmao Garden offers a bunch of different customization options,
Okay.
like branding, colors,
Yeah.
special features, compartments. They even do ODM and OEM projects.
Oh.
So they can basically create a custom design
Like a scratch.
from scratch.
So it's more than just like sticking a logo on there.
Oh, yeah. Way more.
Okay.
You can do custom colors, logos, extra compartments for recycling or composting,
Wow.
reinforced lids.
So many possibilities.
Pretty much anything you can dream up.
All right, so let's dive into some of the specific features that they're really proud of.
Yeah. What sets them apart?
What sets them apart?
So first up, waterproofing.
Okay, you'd think that would be a given.
You would, wouldn't you?
Right. For an outdoor bin box.
But it's not always the case.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they really emphasize
Okay.
that their bin boxes use tight seals and reinforced lids
Okay.
to keep all that water out.
Rain, snow, sprinklers.
Everything.
That's huge.
Especially if you're storing, more than just trash.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want your stuff getting soaked.
Exactly.
All right. Next up, ventilation.
Ventilation. Didn't we already talk about that?
We did, but they bring it up again.
Okay.
Because it's that important.
Right.
So they've designed their bin boxes to have that good airflow,
Yeah.
which helps prevent moisture buildup and all those nasty smells.
Right, because you don't want it to be like a stagnant,
No, you want it to be fresh.
swampy situation.
Exactly.
All right, makes sense. And of course, rust resistance.
Oh, that's a big one.
For sure.
Especially for outdoor stuff.
Yeah.
They use special coatings and materials
Okay.
that are really good at resisting rust and corrosion.
So that's got to be especially important if you're near the coast.
Oh, yeah. The salt air can be brutal,
Yeah.
but they don't just rely on the coatings.
Okay.
They use materials like galvanized steel
Uh-huh.
that are naturally rust resistant.
So it's like a double whammy.
Exactly. They're not taking any chances.
I like it. All right, so we've talked about durability, compliance, customization, all those great features.
We've checked all the boxes.
But do they have any, like, real-world examples?
Oh, we do.
Okay.
The guide actually talks about one of their clients,
Okay.
a German retailer
Mm-hmm.
that sells outdoor equipment.
Okay.
And apparently they were having a lot of trouble.
With their old bin boxes?
Oh, yeah.
What kind of trouble?
Customers were complaining
Okay.
about rust, leaks, flimsy construction.
Yeah, the usual suspects.
Yeah, and they were getting a ton of returns.
Oh, no.
It was starting to hurt their reputation.
Yeah, that's not good.
So they decided to switch to Hongmao Garden.
Okay, and what happened?
It was a huge success.
Okay.
The returns went way down.
Wow.
They started getting great customer reviews.
Nice.
And they even launched their own private label line of bin boxes
Really?
using Hongmao Garden stuff.
And how did that go?
It became a bestseller on Amazon Germany.
Wow. So they really turned things around.
They did. It's a great example of how choosing the right supplier can really make a difference.
It can. It's not just about the product. It's about the partnership.
Exactly.
All right. So we've talked about the 10 mistakes.
Yeah.
We've gotten some great insights from Hongmao Garden.
Mm-hmm.
We've even heard a real success story.
What more could you ask for?
I'm feeling way more informed than I was an hour ago. But there's one more section in the guide
Oh, yeah.
that I think we should check out.
Okay.
The frequently asked questions.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's a great way to kind of address any last-minute concerns.
For all the bases.
Yeah, and provide more clarity for people thinking about buying a bin box.
All right, I'm ready.
Let's do it. Okay, so frequently asked questions time.
Hit it.
The first one is pretty basic. What materials are best for garbage bin boxes?
Yeah, so the guide, again, really stresses weather-resistant materials,
Okay.
especially if it's going to be outside,
Right.
exposed to the elements.
Mm-hmm.
They specifically recommend galvanized steel, powder-coated metals,
Okay.
or high-density plastics with that UV stabilization.
We've talked about those materials before,
We have.
but why are they bringing up the UV stuff again here?
It seems like they really want to make sure people get this.
Okay.
That UV protection is super important for how long the bin box lasts,
Yeah.
especially if it's plastic. They explain that UV light can actually break down the plastic over time,
Oh, wow.
make it brittle and easy to crack.
So it's not just about the color fading, it's like the actual
It's about the structure.
integrity of the material.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, what's next?
So the next question is all about branding.
Okay.
Can you customize these things?
Yeah, can I put my logo on it?
Exactly. And the answer is yes.
Okay, good.
Hongmao Garden offers a bunch of different ways to customize the bin boxes.
Right.
From simple stuff like adding a logo
Mm-hmm.
to more complex things like custom colors, special features.
So if a business wants to make it really their own,
Yeah, if they want to make the bin box part of their brand,
totally possible.
it's totally doable.
Awesome.
They mentioned custom colors, logos, compartments, reinforced lids.
It's like you can design a bin box that is exactly what you want.
You can, pretty much.
All right, now here's a question that I think is super important.
Okay.
How can I make sure that the supplier I choose is reliable,
That's huge, especially if you're buying from overseas.
especially from overseas?
The guide gives some really good tips here.
Okay.
First things first, check for those certifications.
RECBSCI.
Yeah, all those letters.
The alphabet soup?
Yeah, those are your baseline. They tell you that the supplier is meeting those international standards.
For quality, safety.
The whole 9 yards.
Okay, so those are important. But the guide says to go a step further.
They do.
What else should I be doing?
They say you got to request samples.
Samples, okay.
It's the best way to know for sure what you're getting.
See it, touch it.
Exactly. Make sure it meets your expectations.
Better to do that before you have a whole container.
Whole container of duds.
Yeah, exactly. All right, next question. Are these things easy to put together?
That's a good question.
Yeah, because I'm not exactly a DIY expert.
Me neither. But the guide says that most bin boxes are actually designed to be pretty easy to assemble.
Okay.
They come with clear instructions.
Okay.
And you usually just need basic tools.
Okay. That's a relief.
That's good news.
Nobody wants to spend their weekend
Yep.
struggling with a bin box.
Exactly.
All right, and last question. How do I make sure that my bin boxes don't rust?
The eternal question.
It's an important one.
It is. And the answer is
Drum roll, please.
choosing the right materials.
Okay.
Go with galvanized or powder-coated metals.
Those are the best.
Those are the best for preventing rust.
Okay, so it's all about those materials.
It really is.
But the guide also mentions that taking care of the bin boxes can make them last longer.
Makes sense.
Keep them clean.
Yeah.
Store them in a sheltered spot.
A little bit of TLC goes a long way.
It does. All right. Well, there you have it.
Who did it?
We delved into the world of garbage bin boxes.
We sure did.
Explored the common mistakes.
Uncovered the hidden depths.
Even tackled some FAQs.
I feel like a bin box expert now.
Me too. It's amazing what you can learn
Yeah.
when you really dig into something.
You do learn a lot.
And speaking of digging in, here's a final thought for our listeners. What other everyday objects might have these hidden depths of design and functionality that we just kind of take for granted?
That's a great question.
I encourage everyone to take a closer look at the things they use every day.
Yeah.
You might be surprised by what you discover.
You never know.
Well said. And on that note,
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say that we'll never look at a garbage bin box the same way again.
Never.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Until next time. Keep exploring.